top left.
Mate, in 24 hours, StreamYard will lose access to Facebook. Don't worry. Yeah, that's
Okay, cool.
happens.
Just not sure about that.
that happens.
I thought that was a recording of you and your adventures on Wednesday because, you know, in the last 2 weeks, where haven't you been in New Zealand, Luke?
I know. I haven't been north, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't ventured past the Harbour Bridge. But I've been to Queenstown, Mount, Tauranga, Wanganui yesterday. I'm a tired boy, I'll tell you what, mate. I've got a very quiet weekend locked in.
Hamilton?
Been to Hamilton. Yeah.
Cambridge, was it?
True. Yeah, Cambridge. Yeah, forgot.
Because Cambridge is separate to Hamilton.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to be mixed in with those folk.
So
Sorry to all you folk in Hamilton.
I wasn't allowed to put too much, or well, basically any of the helicopter trip on the socials was the
instruction.
Yes, that's a good word. But I'll tell you, lovely listeners, I was picked up by a helicopter in Auckland and flown down to a horse stud to look at a few horses.
What colour was the helicopter?
Yellow.
Was it?
And blue, yeah.
Oh. You got some photos, didn't you?
I got a couple of photos, mate.
If you come back and watch this on the live stream replay later, zoom in on Luke's face. He's got a little proud moment right here.
I do. Or maybe I didn't take a photo.
No, and I think credit where credit's due. It was well deserved.
This is it taking off.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a mean bloody private helicopter. So it drops you off and then buggers off.
No, parks up in the hangar.
Parks up in the hangar.
Yep.
So that's you taking the video when you weren't supposed to.
It's going. Yeah, correct. Yep. It's taking people to Waiheke today apparently.
Nice. And you didn't get
the invite.
No,
shame. But without naming names, I think your kids might have some of their toys. I think that might be who's in it today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
We don't provide toys to our children. Only toys. No. So what? They're hanging out with old. Who's the dude from Apple these days? Not Steve Jobs, because who's the next dude? I can't even remember. That's Paul, the chief exec from Apple.
Oh,
our kids have got Apple toys.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, not
Tim Cook, I think his name.
That's the one. Well done. But if it's with kids' toys, I think they might have outgrown that phase of that plasticky stuff that you use and throw away.
That's good. But yeah, so we got to go on a chopper, which was cool, and had a lovely lunch. And a couple of things I learned from the day, mate.
Yep.
Flying in a chopper, obviously, absolutely efficient use of time. Half an hour, 300 k's an hour they go, apparently.
Not cheap.
Ben was asking questions about what happens if they crash. I was like, can we have this when we're not in the air? That was funny.
Good on you, Ben.
Yeah. And just on the way down, it's such a good reminder, looking down at the world and at New Zealand, just seeing how much cool shit's actually going on. Just some of the development, you're going over quarries, and it's a beautiful day. Forestry work, different types of farms, horses, and just the diversity of our economy outside of Auckland. It's just it's a good reminder.
And you miss that detail when you're up at 30,000 feet plus in your private jet, don't you?
Yeah. And some of the houses, it's inspired me to go on Google Maps and satellite and look down at some of these houses. I think it's beachlands. I could not believe it.
Really?
Yeah, like ridiculously big. Huge.
Wow.
We'll have to pull it up at some stage.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Or we'll just dial up the chopper again and go for a hunt.
Yeah. And then on the way back, just the amount of, so we went down about 10, 11, so it's sort of on the way down, everyone's working and there's stuff happening in the economy. On the way back, it was 5, 6 o'clock, I think, so now playtime effectively. And there was cars hooning around Hampton Downs, there were kids doing athletics. You could watch a football game, you could see the ball moving.
Really?
Yeah. And just so much recreation going on. And just in a time, I guess, when everyone is running for cover and hiding indoors and all that sort of stuff, it's just cool to see so much happening. Yeah. But always a good reminder to take a bird's eye view of things.
So just tell me, just to think back, you went down there for lunch, what you had?
Well, they said, she said when I first got there, do you want this type of champagne or this type? And I didn't know how to pronounce either. So I'm like, yeah. Oh, the pink champagne, it's a rosé. I was like, yeah, of course it is. Yep, perfect. Yeah, I'll have that. So that's what I started on. Nice few rosés.
Oh, Champagne Masters would have been stoked.
Yeah.
Give me the bottle.
Some salmon pikelet type starters with some prawns and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a huge spread by the end of the capacity anyway, really. And just the most amazing dessert. You would have been in your element.
Real.
These white Russian, not alcoholic beverages, but these little tart things.
Yeah.
And this mousse cake that had been made, I watched them make it. The kitchen that they were cooking in is designed for hosting. And it was it's bigger than my apartment, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Is it a bit like oyster and chop where you can see the cookie feed?
Yeah. It's a very, for a young lad that's grown up in a small town and didn't think I'd be having those types of opportunities.
The lad from Hawara is really mixing it with some big dogs.
Yeah, you got to pitch yourself and make sure you're
once in a lifetime type stuff, would you say?
Yeah. And another thing that I noticed when I hang around some of these people that have achieved a lot and accumulated a lot of wealth and stuff, is that they're not afraid to ask for what they want. And there's a book called Ask, and I read it, and it's so simple. It's basically like the more you ask, the more you actually get things, but we're also scared of asking. And told a story about how they'd had a guest the week before, and it was a very famous All Black. I won't name who, but now retired. And they said, "Oh yeah, he got 35 grand out of me." Oh, I should be saying that. Got 35 grand out of me for some charity. Before it left, and I thought, wow, they're still applying those principles. You've still got to be brave enough to ask. So they were fundraising for a child with cancer. I think it might have been something like that. But it's just that reminder that unless you ask, you don't know. And it leads into a more tax-related matter that we've seen today.
Tax?
Yeah, where a client has asked to have their tax basically written off.
Yes.
And they said, well, you don't know until you ask, because they'd seen an announcement that the IRD were going to be looking at people's tax positions and offering some relief where they can if they've been impacted by COVID. And through 2 phone calls, they've had nearly 5 figures, or over 5 figures worth of GST written off.
No questions asked.
Well,
we shouldn't say that, but and you mentioned, I think, when you were talking to the client, in our experience, it's normally a few hurdles to run through, isn't it? Yeah. And things to overcome. The process isn't easy, but obviously the COVID response has filtered through to IRD and understanding of the pain that business owners are going through.
I don't know how we reflect that in the accounts was my next question, mate, but that's probably one for off the air because people aren't going to want to know that. But
no,
they took the first person said, "Oh, you're going to have to fill out a 7-page application form."
Only 7?
Yeah, only 7.
Wow.
Including a 24-month forecast and all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
And the next person at the IRD said, no, you don't need to do any of that. Just send me a few your last 3 months bank statement. So again, don't always just accept the first answer that you get. And look at the result they got. So
good on them.
This is for people that have been heavily impacted by COVID, not just you bringing up saying, "Oh, can I have my GST?"
Yeah, if you're listening to this and think, "Hey, I can just call up IRD and get some tax written off," no. It needs to be genuine, and these are business owners that are genuinely hurting. Yeah. Good outcome.
Very good, mate. So yeah, that's about it's a quick look into my day away in Cambridge.
Well, the 2 weeks really.
Yeah.
The amount.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the travel, but specifically about the Wednesday.
Yeah. So that's then I was in Whanganui yesterday for a function for a 50th, which was nice, and then flew back this morning. Noticeably quite quiet on the roads in Auckland here, and the airport was pretty quiet too on both days.
I've noticed the same. For those of you who don't know, live out in the wild west of Auckland, and each day on the commute into the office and back home in the afternoon, it's 20 to 25 minutes, which if you live in Auckland from the CBD to the Wild West is quick. Well, I think it is, because in the past when we used to work in Punishing Parnell, it would be a good hour or so that you can be stuck in traffic on. So I really think this whole COVID stuff is really impacting on people coming into the office, and it's certainly the chat that we're hearing online and on the radios. People are working from home more and more and more. Long may it continue a little bit, because I am enjoying the efficient travel.
The travel is a lot easier, isn't it? I'm just trying to check. I don't think that the
is our Facebook thing not working?
Well, I don't know. I've tried to default internal microphone. Might have to get Jade to just check if the audio is coming through the Facebook page if you can, because I just had a quick look and it didn't seem to be working. But
So, folks, 10 minutes in, just a few technical glitches here. Please bear with us because we are just trying something new here. It was something on our business plan, wasn't it? And something that we've spoken about for quite a long time. We've invested in some technology to be able to put not only our podcast in audio format, but to also stream it online. And we haven't been taking action on that despite having the equipment. And we thought, right, let's put it on the business plan and actually make ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
And we're doing that.
It's working.
And we're just checking the chat.
What's that, sorry? Oh, perfect.
Jade has confirmed that you can not only see our great looking faces, g'day at home, you can also hear us. So that's good to hear. We wouldn't want you to miss out on the life-changing advice that we speak so freely.
So it's a week on, mate, since we went away and did our business planning.
If I'm honest, it doesn't feel like a week.
Gone quick, isn't it?
Real quick.
I have been gallivanting around the place, but
you have, and I've come back and held the fort, really.
Yep.
In the office on my own. Jade was exposed to a close contact, so did the right thing and isolated. So I came into the office and cranked a little bit of Taylor Swift.
I've noticed that the Sonos things moved, so I thought,
Didn't
wow,
move. Yep.
yeah, you were very upset when they turned off Taylor Swift on Monday. We'll get to that in a second because otherwise we're going to tangent down there. But what have you reflected on or had a chance to reflect on since that week, mate? Or what else has maybe revealed itself since 7 days on?
Oh, man. There's a lot, actually, and the mind's even just hissing now on the things that have come out the week. The potential opportunity or opportunity of potential, whatever way around we want to say it, is it almost sends a shiver up my spine.
Wow.
Like, it's quite exciting.
Yeah.
We went through our business plan with Jay just before going live on the mic, and it's quite exciting what we've mapped out.
Yeah.
I'm really raised up for it. I've actually set aside time to actually work on the business myself because that's one of the roadblocks that I wrote down on our business plan is me.
Yeah.
So I'm taking our own advice. More often than not, the business owner is the roadblock, and I've put my hand up and gone, hell yes, because it's pretty easy for me being the little bit of a nerd, love my abacus, to come back and just get stuck into those GST returns, which I'm so passionate about.
You are a bit passionate lad in GSTs.
And go to the day-to-day stuff of what I'm comfortable doing, but then going, no, if we want to realise this goal, it's not a dream, it's a goal, and actually set about achieving it, then these are the things that we need to do. Yeah. And I've even written down on my iPad today, actually start to work on some of this stuff.
Wow, nice one.
And this is obviously part of it. Yep. Because we did say, what are we doing today? And I'm like, mate, we're recording podcasts.
Good, yeah.
Because that's what we said we're going to do.
Yep. The activator of me kicked in, so I was in here Saturday, Sunday, because I had the weekend to myself.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Taz was off gallivanting around the country. It's a theme in your household.
It is. It's definitely call us the gallivanters. And so I used those days to my advantage. And I'd say some people probably think, well, why do you need to work on a weekend? But it doesn't feel like work when you're trying to grow something and realise your potential, what the potential of
you get fulfillment from it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. So
and then I could sit here and say, well, what else would you do with your time?
Well, I did go to the races. My horse ran last, and so I'm like, I'm not doing this. And so I sat here and watched some of the races. And the Taz was like, have you been there all day? And I was like, oh, only 8 hours. On Saturday, and she said, what are you doing today? I was like, oh, I'm just sitting into the office. But also, I'm working on a project for Keep Change. So I'm recording 30 podcasts for March, my birthday month. So 1 through to 30.
Yeah.
And it's a story from my financial life and journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hit record and basically So I wrote down 30 topics on the flight back, I think, from the Mount.
Yep.
And so I'm just slowly ticking those off because it's actually really hard to do one a day. So what I do is I batch record it. So I've done 10. So even though I was in here for 8 hours, I probably was on the mic for 2 or 3 of those hours as well.
2 or 3 hours. That's a good innings on the mic, mate.
Yeah. The most I did was 4.
Did you get dry?
Nah. I actually, by the end of the weekend, I noticed my voice was a little bit fatigued.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is quite draining, especially because you're just talking to yourself.
Mm.
And so you're very trying to be careful of your breathing, and sometimes you get a little bit lost and then just pausing to figure out what you're trying to say. But having a degree in talking shit, and it's not too hard for someone like myself. So I've got 20 to go.
A master's.
Yeah.
Working on the PhD.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I came into just got started because what I said to you is some of the things we've got to do. I know that they are things that they're big, bulky pieces of work, so they require me to be sort of in a certain state to be able to do them. So what I do with those types of work is just get started on them, and then you know that you've got the process underway, and you're not procrastinating any longer if I need to do that at some stage, because you've already you're just slowly breaking the back of it. And that's something that I practice a lot too with, if you know you're going to have to get in touch with someone or email a client or whatever, it's like, we'll do it now, and then you've got it underway. It's not, because often I'll find things that I'm writing down on my to-do list. I'm like, I could have done this in the time I've written down to do that at a later time period. I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah. So just practicing execution, really.
Good man. The other thing, just while it springs to mind in terms of just what you were saying, another takeaway was I listened to the podcast that Aaron Walsh did with you.
Yeah. And
we had him attend our dinner on a Wednesday night. Trying to be mindful of some of the takeaways of what he said, particularly around high performance, capability, and interference.
Yeah. And
don't say dumb shit out loud. And I've encouraged as many people as I possibly can with my small range of influence, that if you listen to one podcast this year or ever in your entire life, listen to Aaron Walsh.
I showed you on the flight back. I made 3 pages of notes whilst interviewing him.
You did?
Yeah. I found them on the way back. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's a huge, there's just a massive amount of untapped potential in that guy. And he's somebody that just flies below the radar, very humble, but his results speak for themselves, I think.
What did you think in the podcast when he was explaining about what men are very poor at in fatherhood? How we are encouraging our kids, like we're basically teaching them, like, you're not good enough. And then kids grow up being like,
and then he goes, his technique of coming from that neutral place.
Yeah.
That's the bit you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a parent, I resonated with that big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And it's because it is so easy to go, oh no, you haven't done this right, or come from that negative mindset.
Yeah.
And that you don't really realize what potential that has on the child until they probably grow up in a later stage. And I think he even said to you, man, his kids, he's got a son and a daughter, I believe, if I recall from the thing. I think they're very fortunate to have a father like him that's raising them in that kind of environment. I mean, I resonated with it, with his message. Not everybody's going to, but I think the way that he's raising those kids, it'll be interesting to see their journey unfold.
Yeah. He told me an awesome story. I don't know if it's in a pod, or I think it was off air, around how one day, to celebrate his son's actions at a game, he rewarded him for that, because he was like, we get so caught up in that, if you get 50 runs, we'll take you to McDonald's, or if you get a try, or whatever. But one day, I can't remember what his son did. I think his son supported someone that was massively under pressure, and they'd lost the game, and he's like, mate, we're going to celebrate. He's like, well, we lost, Dan. Like, why are we going to celebrate? And he was like, well, the way you acted out there and what you did for your team. And he's like, I reckon that's the best performance I've seen for you, to teach him it's not just about the end result. Yeah. Yeah.
Developing the capability.
Yeah.
Which is on the path to high performance.
But just there's so much in there that gets you thinking, he's a ripper.
Yeah. And it'll be a podcast that I'll go back and listen to again.
I did one for Boys Get Paid with him as well.
Did you?
That community. And a number of people said, including some of the jockeys tuned in, and they were like, this is the best piece of content I've consumed. So, it's pretty cool to have a bit of access to him. And then, of course, we were in Queenstown for the day on Monday, mate, weren't we?
Wow. Queenstown. I like Queenstown.
Yeah.
To visit.
Yeah.
And then flight. That flight on the way home.
Oh, mate. That was way past my bedtime.
It's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a long way.
That's 2/3 of the way to Fiji, and I know where I'd rather go.
True.
Sorry to all you folk that like Queenstown.
I put up a poll on my personal Instagram and said, Queenstown, under or overrated? And I think the majority, was probably 75% of people said underrated.
Underrated. You wouldn't have picked it. Are you taking the piss?
No, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Everyone loves it, eh? I'm gonna put my hand up. I'm sorry.
I love the comment that you said to me when we were down there.
Yeah.
About, if you could name the lakes, and I don't know what the name of the lake is in Queenstown, but I know Lake Taupo.
Yeah. I just I said to Phil when we went up the luge, just said, let's go and support a tourism business. Let's go support a hospo joint while we're here.
Yeah.
So we tried to go and put a little bit of money into supply. And so we went up there and it was an absolutely breathtaking day, breathtaking views, all of those superlatives, I think is the correct term.
Oh, that's a gee.
And I said, at the heart of it, mate, this place is actually a shithole, isn't it? Let's be honest. You were like, wow.
Yeah.
That is unpopular opinion. But it's not. But I said, if you took the view away, like, I don't know why it's this. I reckon I've just branded the joint well.
For context, Luke doesn't ski.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, don't ski. So
has no attraction to the snow. And admittedly, this is the first time for me going down to Queenstown. When I last went down, it would have been for my birthday weekend a few years back.
Yeah.
That was summerish. Weather was okay. But that was with a whole group of other people. But I think, summer is not really a cool place. It's just the snow.
Yeah.
Is the attraction. And if there's no snow, why go to Queenstown?
I think it's because what I was saying is, like, no one bangs on about Lake Taupo like this. They've just branded the joint well, I'm sure of it. It's become an international type destination. So then we've all gravitated towards it too. Maybe it's the scenery, but yeah.
The scenery with the snow is nice. Like if you're a tourist,
sure.
International tourist, to say that you've skied at Queenstown, if you're into skiing, and admittedly we're not into skiing, so there's probably a fair bit there that we're missing out on. And for New Zealanders, if I'm really honest, it's not a cheap place to visit.
No, well, that's also why. Yeah.
I went down and did the Nevis bungee. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Admittedly, yes, there's the journey up there that's included in the thing, and then I got the video and photos and all that shit. But for my bloody 30-second thrill, or however long it lasts, not long.
Yeah.
Which I'm used to. It was a lot of money.
Yeah. What is it? A few hundred?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon it must be close to 500 or 4. It was a lot.
Well, $44 each just to get up the gondola.
And that was the next thing I was gonna like. I took the piss with the dude behind the counter. I'm like, mate, a couple of kids, because I'd already seen the price on the thing, $44. I'm like, bro, there's a couple of kids here that I wanted to go up for $20.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, no, a couple of kids are 44. I was like, you're not picking up what I put them down here. So
nah, I can believe that. We didn't even go on the luge. We went out there for a drink. Yeah.
But look, we went there to support the economy and go and do it. The one thing I was surprised about was the amount of locals with mountain bikes. I'm assuming they're locals, and the amount of children that were either skipping school or on close contact COVID leave.
Yeah, true.
Just generalizations, not pointing fucking fingers here. And even after school, because we were up there until 5 o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
The amount of mountain bikers.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah.
Did you notice what was the last question that guy that charged us $44? My worker was the last question he asked.
Where are we from?
Yeah. Do you think he cared?
Fuck no. He's just doing it because the computer told him to ask.
Bingo. Yeah.
Because those guys are collecting stats.
Yeah. Which I thought, it's interesting. Because I heard him ask the people in front of us, and then it was our turn. Like I saw it because I was watching. I was like, what's he doing with this data?
Yeah, I didn't see him ask. If I did, it would have dropped it in like the old Tumking go.
Yeah,
notice the old Aucklands.
Well, that's good pronunciation.
Yeah, mate. Hey, I've been practicing down to
it.
Yeah, just tuning in.
But a good reminder for us, like what data, what are they doing with that data, perhaps, and what?
Well, fuck all, if I'm honest. Let's be honest, because admittedly they have neglected the domestic tourism market.
Oh, I hope we've not got no massive tourism heavyweights listening to this, but. Yeah, I had a bit of a.
Well, you think about it, like prior to COVID, what advertising has been targeted to you specifically to attract you to Queenstown? Yeah, as a domestic tourist, or what incentive have they given you to try and get you down there to say, hey, look, international tourists have to pay $44 to go up the gondola to go and sink some piss at the restaurant.
Yeah.
But because you live in New Zealand and you've made the effort to come down to this fine location that international tourists come to, we'll give it to you for $30.
Yeah.
No, zero.
I thought at $44, there'll be people that will never get the chance to do that in their life. It's just too expensive. We're a big family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's family parks and all that stuff, but yeah, what I didn't like about the tourism sector when COVID really kicked off, some of their big dogs came out swinging about how they had been, unfairly treated as an industry and stuff, and I get that. I knew where they were coming from, but they wanted it at the expense of others. They were going on about, oh, look at this sector's got this, and we haven't had that, and look at these guys. What makes the government think that they deserve that amount of money? What about us? And it put me off massively. A number of those people, and my respect dropped a lot for some of those people. And I've seen them now climbing back into trying to start the rebuild process, and I've sort of like, oh, you're still a little bit tainted in my. And I'm sure a lot of them were highly emotional things, but be very careful when you start trying to saying, give us preference over other people and what have they done to deserve it and stuff. And it's a ugly situation.
Look, coming from an uneducated position here, but the vibe in Queenstown was very quiet.
It was, mate. It was, yeah.
And the client that we went down there to see, one of the team members did actually point out to us that the car park next to the office building that we could see from where we work is normally rammed.
Yeah.
And I could count on one hand the amount of cars that were in that car park all day.
We saw a couple of the English cricket team, and we went to get some lunch quickly from
the ladies'
exchange.
Yeah, exchange.
Yeah.
Hello to you fine folk down at the exchange.
Yeah.
That was a great scone that I got, the savoury scone.
I feel really bad because I didn't say bye to those ladies.
The cricketers or the exchange people?
Nah, the cricketers, I kind of like started a combo with them, and then like just got stuck into my sandwich.
Admittedly, I looked at them, and their body language, I felt, and their level of engagement was poor. They didn't seem like they wanted to be spoken to.
I've had this problem a lot when talking with women during my life, Phil, so it could just be the me thing.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, yeah. They're probably out just doing the thing, but sometimes I just try and practice this talking to absolute strangers. Yeah, having a little bit of wooing me helps. But
and you wanted to go for a swim in the lake?
I did. That's my biggest regret. I didn't take any bloody shorts. I could have changed.
You were getting real close to stripping down though. Like you were genuinely thinking of getting down to
just
jocks,
and
jumping in and strategizing and going, right, post swim, what do I do?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I hate sitting around in like wet pants. I didn't want to sit on that plane and that leather seat for 2 hours with like wet shorts.
Yeah, and that probably hasn't happened for 6 months.
Yeah. So I did regret not taking any, but anyway, my conclusion from the region of Queenstown, give me the Mount over Queenstown any day.
And the other thing that I'd shout out to is Blue Canoe. Luke did a post on Instagram and LinkedIn, I think, saying, hey, look, we're looking for suggestions. Huge amount of engagement. It was quite interesting when you pointed it out to me, the level of engagement on LinkedIn. Yeah, and you put the photo of us sitting up at the Skyline bar place, and a whole heap of suggestions came flooding in. It was awesome to see. We took up the suggestion of Blue Canoe. Yep, can't remember the name of the street, but certainly remember the location. Friendly people, great food, highly recommended.
Definitely. Jade was a big recommender of Blue Canoe, so we took that advice.
And we took her recommendation on the bao buns.
Yes.
And
some sort of bun. Yeah.
Yeah, and some goat something or other ones with some chili stuff. Sensational. Very tasty. Get them in you.
I had the non-alcoholic Tropicana mocktail, I think they're called.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I actually didn't get my phone to take a photo of it because there was a massive wedge of pineapple.
Yeah,
there was a couple of cherries on a stick and the butterfly.
Yes, that was different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just such a nerd that I sat there and I thought, wonder what the margin is they lose in this through all these bloody add-ons. Like, what's the cost of making this drink?
But then the thing was, you got the drink and I looked, and the first thing you did was delete the pineapple.
Yes.
And then you got stuck into the drink.
Yes.
It didn't last long because that was some pinky peachy kind of coloured thing.
Yeah.
Suited you. Did you delete the cherries?
Had the cherries, mate. I tried to eat both of them, then I dropped it into the drink and I had to try and fish it out with a straw. But as you know, these days with these these cardboard type straws, they get a bit soggy and
then they're good when you're trying to fumble the cherry.
Exactly. Two things, mate. That's a great tactic. The LinkedIn one around, often if you're posting content, we can get stuck in the trap of just one-way traffic. So just basically like, here's my thoughts or here's my story. But if you ask people for engagement, you'll notice like it'll go off, especially if it's something that they can have an answer to.
And particularly when it's such a draw card like Queenstown
Yes.
for all the Aucklanders.
Everyone's like, I know that photo.
Yeah.
I know who they are.
And
Yeah.
it's playing into that technique on how to win friends and influence people, making the other person feel important.
Yeah, so I left the comment saying thanks everyone for your suggestions.
Good man.
Yeah. Secondly, mate, I before my chopper flight, I thought I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to
We're
line
going
my
back to the
stomach.
chopper. Here
Yeah,
we go.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to line my stomach before I go.
Did you go to BP?
No,
Oh.
I went to Amana.
What, got a pie?
No, got the prosciutto with the potatoes.
Yeah.
And again, being a geek, I run my personal life on a zero ledger.
Yes.
So I reconcile all my transactions and
Yep.
do a little bit of revenue throughout the year, just different ventures and stuff. And so I code everything up. And I had spent $30 at Amano.
Yeah.
And that was a drink and a prosciutto. I got the exact same meal. And then 10 minutes later, I reconciled it. $30 drawings, of course, wasn't it?
100% for IRD listening.
Yeah. And then I went to the counter and I said, oh, you were sitting there? I said, yeah. And they said $32. I'm like, wow.
The maths is wrong.
Well, no.
They're trying to charge you more, or just like there's
Who divided by 30?
fraud going on here?
They'd increased their prices by 6.67% in a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's coincidental with minimum wage.
Yeah. And speaking to a bar owner when we were in the Mount,
Yep.
He said, mate, I don't know why everyone complains about it. I walked in here today and said, right, change the fucking menu, change the pricing, everything goes up $1.
Mm.
Everything. And he's like, you fucking carry on. I'm like, good energy. But that's literally what's happening all over the country, right? So he's not waiting till the 1st of April. He is cranking it in February. Yeah. So if you're not, then you probably need to be thinking about why not. And we've had a client email this week asking, hey, do you have a template for increasing prices? And there's sort of 4 or 5 different ideas in there, and she's taken some of those and mashed them together and put it into her style, which we suggest.
I've taken and had to swallow some of our own advice earlier this month, and we've had clients that have been with us since day one.
Yes.
And we've never increased their fees.
Yeah, lazy, isn't it? Seems lazy.
It was. COVID was a little bit of the, dare I say it, excuse, if we're going to insert, I'm going to insert an excuse here.
Because we were about to, weren't we? We had it on
Yeah, it's been on the radar, then COVID came along, and that kind of like was a bit of felt like a shit thing to do. Yeah, increase our fees when we're going through this, and it's gone on for 2 years. And I identified some clients that I wanted to increase some fees on, and worked out what they were on and what they should be on as a comparable fee for any new clients coming on board now. And some of the fee increases were huge. Some of them were over 30%. Wow, increase in fee. Like that's a huge percentage increase. And I did it to 3 clients by email first, and I typed it up, and my core number 1 strength was a playhead, deliberative. I didn't click that send button.
Really?
I read it and I reread it, and I'm like, right, just do it, click send. And then my heart sank, thinking, what am I just done?
Yeah.
And the first email comes back from the client, and it had a one-liner in there, very short sentence. And I'm like, this client's got a pretty cool personality. They're either going one way and taking the piss, and there's a bit of banter here, or they're actually being quite genuine about like what the actual fuck.
Yeah.
And I read that before I went to bed. Shouldn't have read that before I went to bed.
Yeah.
The deliberate mind ticked over.
Sure.
Early in the morning, I called the next day. I called all 3 of those clients.
Yeah.
One of them I couldn't get hold of, but then all 3 of them came back and said, "We completely understand, and it makes sense. We're happy to pay the increase."
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one.
And then that gave me the confidence to then go and roll it out broadly across the remainder of the clients that we identified increases need to go to.
Yeah.
And no pushback.
Yeah, because I guess it's unfair on those clients who are paying the correct rates effectively, and but they're getting the same level of service. But we did lose a client though, mate. As you say, we don't like to run from our failings. So
this week's one, that came absolutely out of the blue. And I was in a meeting and got back to my desk and saw the email, and it had a subject line, and I thought that's a unique subject line from this client. So I opened it, and there was a few paragraphs there, and my heart sank.
Yeah.
And I thought, geez, what do I do? And immediately into that defensive position. What have I done wrong? What slipped through my cracks, and what could have I done better? And then I sent you some audio and front footed it with you and said, mate, this is the go. This is what's happening. And then we bounced some stuff back and forth. Finally got hold of the client, tried to call them, then called them back in the afternoon, and had a really, really good yarn and got an understanding of what it was, and it was absolutely nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Which was the absolute comfort that we got out of it, is that there was nothing that we could do to stop it from happening, because there was some wider family things going on, which we've got no control over. And what the client did say is that in the time that they have been with us, we have had a significant impact on them and their business journey. Yeah, and kind of like where they were when they first started with us to where they are now, we've played a key part of their business story. Yeah. So I thought, man, that's really quite powerful. So then I went away, made some notes actually on it to kind of help me digest it and process it a little bit, which helped, and then focused instead on going, right, I don't need to go, what more could have I done, and gone, well, what actually have we done over the last how many years it's been? It's 4 years. What have we done for this client that's actually worked well, that they had benefit from? Yeah. And then gone, right, these are the things that we do well. This is what we need to keep doing. Yeah. Yeah. And annual accounts isn't part of it, FYI, folk.
Yeah, wow.
The client did not mention once that, hey, you guys prepare ripper sets of annual accounts, and your work papers are absolutely sensational. Yeah. News alert for all your accountants listening out there, clients don't fucking care about accounts and work papers. They just don't have value.
Don't give away the secrets, mate.
No, so and all the stuff obviously that the client got value out of and appreciated was all the future focused value rate stuff that you do, and really challenging their way of thinking. And I don't know whether you've seen the post, but the client even said around challenging them on their limiting beliefs, their self-limiting beliefs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, accountants aren't playing in that space. It's good to get that feedback. I guess, mate, it's a good reminder that, very naive of us to not to think that we wouldn't lose clients, and it's just part of business, right? And accepting that you're not going to be able to make everyone happy, and it's not always going to go your way, and it is what it is. We always try and seek feedback. You're massive on not trying to convince someone once they've made their mind up. Accountants, our industry, you get taught the other. It's like as soon as you get that email, you've got to call them and try and convince them. You want to run the other accountant down, that you're going to...
Who's your accountant? How much are they charging?
Yeah, they won't do this. Yeah. You're massive on just like, nah, let them go.
Yep.
And
it's at the beginning of the call, it's exactly what I said. I was like, hey, I know you sent the email. I just want to understand why I'm not going to try and convince you to change. Yeah. I just want to understand more detail on why, because there's stuff here that we can take out of this.
One thing we were talking about on Monday with a client, for the work they weren't winning, like, do you know why not? And they had ideas. I said, is any of this data?
Oh, yeah, there's some energy in that question.
Because it was all guesswork. I'm like, well, hang on, let's build a process and let's go to each of these ones we don't want and find out why. And it's a very simple question to ask someone, how come we didn't do business together? What happened? Where did this break down? And actually get that data. Because otherwise you're guessing. But Kiwis were too scared. And we're like, they just never replied or whatever. But can you wrap it away to find out, like, why not? And get the accurate answer. And if you're buying something yourself, stop being a pussy and actually tell people why you're not going to transact. If it's too expensive, tell them it's too expensive for you. Yeah. That's how someone's going to learn. Okay, I need to articulate more value.
And exactly that, case in point, I met with a couple of people when I was down in the Mount, and I'm wanting to work on some bits and pieces for myself. I met with a couple of people. Both of them come back to me. One of them I've engaged with. The other one I politely went back to him and said, hey, look, I obviously as you appreciate me with other ones because I want to make sure it's a right fit. And I said the other piece of it is what you're charging, I don't see value in at the price you've pitched it at, and that's formed part of my decision. So no. So it's just tell the truth faster, because ultimately the person on the other side, it's chewing up mental rent.
Yes.
And we're absolutely massive on mental rent.
Yeah.
you know, your, dare I say it, disrespect of hiding behind email and not closing something out is being taxing to somebody else's mental rent and stopping them from getting ahead and going to their next years.
Yeah. Love it, mate.
Hey, the other one that came out on Monday that just sprung to my mind and tying it back to the yarn with the client that we had that's left us was around that self-limiting beliefs.
Yes.
And the question that we posed post the meeting, once one person that left the thing, was there was a particular life event that happened a few years back. 27?
Yeah.
2007, I think it was.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Yeah, oh, okay. Gee, that's quick maths, mate.
Thank you, mate.
I'm still trying to start up the calculator. And asking the other people in the meeting, hey, is this something that comes up in your guys' meetings? And if so, how often? And they confirmed everything. And we're like, this is a self-limiting belief and it's impacting the decision-making in the business and the course of action and the degree of risk that the business is taking on.
Yeah. Yeah. Other thing I spotted in my inbox this week that I thought was very interesting, mate. Someone that wants to get in front of us, and they are just relentless on not giving up and also just taking our time. Hey guys, I've got some things I need to run you through. When can I come and see you? I'm like, we don't want to see you. Know this one?
Yes, yeah, I'm with you now. Yep.
I like approach because
That was the email we were both on.
Yeah. I've replied, haven't heard back, interestingly enough. Nope. But I like that approach because it's like I often say to people, don't ask for someone's time, take it. Because you can't ring a stranger and go, oh hey, it's such and such here, and they don't even know who you are. You know, you've got to, hey, it's Luke from Next Advisory, this is why I'm calling you. But this person, the piece that's missing for me is, do they genuinely, like, what's the problem they're trying to solve for us? And they still haven't been able to articulate that. They're just like, well, you're an accounting firm. We know we've got something to sell to you because we sell to other accounting firms. Like, when can I come and meet with you? I'm like, what about? Like, do we even need to talk? There's one of the coaches that I work through their material in the States. They have what's called an impact filter. So if you want to meet with this person, you've got to fill out an impact filter before you can meet with time. So it's basically like a filter of, well, is this meeting going to have any impact? What's actually in it? And if he looks at it and goes like, no, there's not enough here, no meeting. So basically for all the meetings they now have, there's got to be a impact filter. Basically, it forces people to come to the meeting to actually create an impact rather than go, oh, let's just catch up and, see where it takes us. Interesting,
wow. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. An impact filter.
I think that ties back to how New Zealanders in general, and obviously it filters into your business life of not being prepared to say no or hurt the other person's feelings.
Yeah.
Because I think it's pretty easy to see an email like that. And admittedly, I did see it when it first came in and I thought, oh yeah, I'd be quite keen to catch up with this person and just say g'day and just understand a little bit more about them. But once we spoke about it, it's like, well, why? Because it's one, taking time out of the day, and we've got a lot of stuff on the go that I can invest time into that's probably going to have an impact on the business rather than just shooting the shit with somebody for the sake of it. When it's better to just front foot and go, well, no, or let's do this via Zoom, or we don't have this problem. You can keep following what we're up to. Yeah, but happy days, all the best. Be seeing you. You haven't heard back, but yeah, I think it's New Zealanders, and it's that whole mental rent thing. We don't want to say no because you're worried about offending other people. Exactly. Or yeah. And I think the thing in life is, by putting a stake in the ground on anything, whether it's an opinion or an action, you're going to risk offending somebody. And you're going to need to overcome that. Yeah. Because that's on you. It's like Walsh explains, right? It's just that fear of being on your own and being alone. It's that same feeling when a client leaves and you're like, shit, like I'm back to the cave here. I've failed. When it's just another lesson, another chapter. There's a book full of lessons. Full of lessons. All right, mate, let's leave it there. 45 deep. 45? Yeah. What a ripper. Cracker. No bloody lollies on the planes. Wasn't there? They were handing out those cookies. Did you notice that the cookies, we didn't grab them, but on a previous flight, I have had a cookie. That was when I went to Christchurch, actually, with the kids. So, of course, I'm going to grab a cookie Oliver took 2.
Did
Good lad. He's obviously learned from his old man.
Yeah.
They are plant-based cookies.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I had no idea until I opened it up and I'm like, oh, I'm not into this plant-based stuff. But, you know, it was my next sugar hit.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to get a hit, I've got to get it from
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was actually quite tasty.
Yeah.
For a plant-based cookie time factory chocolate chip cookie.
Well, there you go. Maybe
Yeah.
you've had your mind opened to
I have.
the yeah.
Yep.
Well, we actually, like you said, you've been in the office on your own for the last couple of days. I was a bit worried about what the state of the office was going to be like when we came back. I thought maybe Taylor Swift could be here, but only playing to the speakers. I thought there might not
She's
be.
still ignoring my advances, mate. I'm tagging her in every piece of content I possibly can, and it's still marked as unread.
Might be.
I reckon she's put a filter on it to say bland, ban.
Yeah, you'll be blocked for sure, mate. Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, there's a little bit of the sugar's gone missing from around the place, but that's about it. Mate.
Those Tim Tam gooey caramel biscuits are going to get you every time.
90% of the time.
There was an open packet, just for context, an open packet in the biscuit container. We do have a biscuit container here for when we have client meetings, just for clarity. And I was here on my own, and I had my lunch, and it was in the afternoon. I grabbed a coffee and then had a biscuit.
Maybe we need to
And
be
then another
smarter
biscuit.
about that. Like,
What's that?
because we're coming from a meeting, here you go, here's some shit to eat. Like, genuinely some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether we need to actually start thinking about healthier snacks. Otherwise, we end up like those people we mug off that send out massive hampers of just sugar, and they're like, here's a wellness hamper.
Yeah.
What, 3 kilos of sugar? Refined sugar.
Well,
Yeah.
suggestions, folks. What
Yeah.
are some snacks that you would want your accountant to provide in a meeting that are going to, one, get you into the office and are going to be good for you? I'd be interested.
Yeah. Don't even know if there are any.
Look, admittedly, I'm battling.
Yeah.
You know, ice is probably
Ice,
one
yep.
thing. Yeah, ice cubes.
Okay.
Yep, filtered water.
Some kombucha.
Kombucha.
Yeah.
We do offer clients kombucha and this, still can't remember how to pronounce it. Arepa juice.
Yep.
Tasty, the sparkling version is fantastic.
You're a big fan of that.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. L&P at nextadvisory.nz if you can tell us what treats we should be feeding the clients when they come in so they can eat like athletes and perform like high-performing business owners.